Going on, everyone? Welcome back to BKNY Hoops. If you're new to the channel, I am your host as always, Rashid White. All right, let's get into it. You guys see the title, you see the thumbnail there. Jacques Vaughn actually points out. We're gonna get into what he actually has to say. We're gonna look at the recovery factor of Ben Simmons, and how long it actually potentially is going to take for him to actually get back. Boy, is he needed? Yes or no? I don't know. The jury's actually really still out on that right there. But let's get into this article here. And Jacques Vaughn, actually, we're not going to waste any kind of time. But let's get into this over here. It says it's two different teams with a top six in transition with bottom five without Ben. His pregame presser before facing Orlando. Better executing in the half court without Ben. Not with Ben, so it's two different teams. But Ben, like I said, Ben can actually post up. I don't know what Jacques Vaughn is actually really referring to when it actually comes there. I probably have to go back and actually look at those games and see Ben Simmons in the half court. I guess they kind of do sag off him a little bit because he's not really kind of looking to attack, and also probably that they want to get downhill before the teams actually get their defenses set to probably stop Ben or sag off of him. But all right, so Ben actually has to really kind of learn how to shoot. Now, like I said, it all depends on the philosophy of the head coach and what he actually wants to really truly run. All right, so it's two different teams. I got to get our guys to wrap our head around it. We got to mesh this thing together where we're not shooting late in the shot clock, and playing half-court basketball. So again, he's just basically saying right there that, they don't have any type of hype. Well, with Lonnie Walker, I got to do a separate video on him, man, because he's actually, even in that Miami Heat game, I mean, he was just breaking defenders down. It's just lightning fast and and not just quick. You got guys who are quick, like myself when I was playing, but couldn't jump out of the gym, but quick and explosive. And I mean, he could really, Lonnie Walker gets into the defender's chest and is able to actually really finish and score, man. Both hands, too. So let's see this over here.
O'Neal will handle it. Simmons, the cut to the rim.
All right, so I guess that's what Jacques Vaughn is kind of referring to in terms of fast break right there. And we're going to get to the injury history of Ben Simmons. Oh, no, I'm sorry, injury status of, we know his history already. And it's saying that it's not catastrophic and provides a timeline of recovery. It prepares for the challenging stretch due to a player unavailability. Okay, so where is it? Where is when he's actually coming back? When is the timeline? I'll continue reading, okay? All right, so not a catastrophic injury. I actually wanted to replay that report right there from Brian Lewis. Spoke to Simmons' condition and made it clear that the severity of the point forward's latest back condition should not cause any panic for the Nets fans. Lewis gathered this key information from a close source that is related to Simmons, in which he should be affirmed that the recovery length that the Nets have provided is feasible as it is. So yeah, where is it? This is it right here.
And Brian, can you help us set the record straight here? What's the timeline here for Ben Simmons from this back injury, and is he going to be out for a while here?
Well, I guess a while is relative, right? I spoke with a back specialist who is at the same facility that Ben got his initial surgery done. And he said a lot of us are asking the wrong question. He said this is not a catastrophic injury. This is not anywhere near as bad as the severe L4 and L5 herniations where he had to get surgery, where it basically ruined an entire season. That's not what this is. He said he would expect – now the Nets have already said that he's out for at least a week. This specialist estimated 1 to 2 weeks before he'd practice, which sounds in line with what the Nets have said. And he might end up practicing, say, 1 or 2 weeks, or 1 or 2 weeks before he's fully rehabbing, and then 1 to 2 weeks before he plays. So, maybe 3 weeks, maybe 2, something like that. Now, his point was not that this is a severe injury, not that this is a long-term injury, just acknowledging the fact that it could be a reoccurring injury. He's not guaranteeing that it is.
Oh Lord, I
He's
hope
simply
not.
saying with this sort of thing, you just don't know. Will they not pop up it may not pop up for 2 years, 3 years. Might not pop up for 6 months. It could pop up in another couple months. That's the difficulty in this particular sort of injuries. You just don't know. And the initial surgery, basically the disc is never going to be what it was. It'll never be 100% right. It's fixed, and his analogy was like patching a tire.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people that got the L4, L5 surgery. Uh, yeah, it was both discs for him. I mean, it's never this. One of my best friend's sisters, she fell on her back and she had an L4, I think it was an L4, L5, one of them. And they corrected it, but I mean, at times she actually still has pain from time to time. So what Brian Lewis is actually saying is categorically right there.
Patch could hold, or it might not.
It's interesting with Simmons. Obviously, he gets a lot of brunt from fans, dealing with these injuries, and he just hasn't played much basketball for this team. Right? It's been 42 games over the past couple of years. He isn't available, and it feels like it's a really frustrating thing to see that. And to your point, it doesn't seem like they're just. It's a continuous thing. It's not going to go away. It's something that he could be dealing with the future. How frustrated could this be for the Brooklyn Nets organization to see this again with another back injury for Simmons?
Well, what I would say is this. The first year that they had him, they didn't see him at all. I mean, I'm not implying that he was AWOL or that he wasn't doing his job. I'm saying you didn't see him on the court.
Mm-hmm.
The second year you saw him, and frankly, it was poor. He was clearly physically debilitated. He couldn't play, at least not to his standard. He was ineffective. Now, when they've seen him after the surgery and after the nerves, they take about 1.5 years to regenerate. What you saw on the court, despite picking nits about him not driving to the rim or whatnot, this was a wholly different player. He was effective, and he was incisive, and he changed the way they played offensively. That, I would say, I'd say they're confident in that, and they're buoyed by that. Right? Inside the building, they're encouraged by seeing what they look like when he's playing well, now that they finally get a chance to see him playing well, because they haven't seen that yet.
Right.
So as far as this latest thing, it's just something that they're going to have to manage. You're committed to him, so you're going to have to manage it and find a way to shepherd him through this in the best way possible.
Yeah, it's actually tough. It's tough because, I mean, with Ben Simmons, he's something like 6'10", 6'11". He actually has to guard point guards, and he has to get down lower, and it's tough. Like I said, I'm a player. I dealt with back injuries, man, and I'm 6'1". Sometimes, you get out the end of the court, you got to defend 5'7" guys, 5'5" guys, and you got to bend down lower, like real low, and to really kind of strip them or affect their dribble somewhat. And you talk about Ben Simmons at 6'11", let's say if he's guarding like a Trae Young, trying to affect his dribble. I mean, that could put a lot of extreme pressure on the, that back right there, man. So, I don't know. It's tough. This is not good. It's saying that he can actually he'll be having these kind of reoccurring injuries. And it's true like I said, what Brian Lewis is actually saying, this when you have these kind of surgeries, the back is never really truly fully healed or anything like that. It's just, like kind of putting a tourniquet pretty much on a bullet wound, So I don't know if that's a good metaphoric analogy or not, but you actually see the value that he actually really truly brings when he's actually on the court. Yes, and I do know Tony Parker. I read your comment earlier. Yes, I do understand the limitations of Ben Simmons in terms of shooting, free throw shooting. I truly understand that. But, and I get that. Now, I said it on this channel over here. I mean, he has to improve that. And that he needs to score more. That 2 points against Dallas, I mean, I really got on Ben about that. He needs to give me like 8 to 10 points. I mean, they win that game. But maybe he was actually going through some injuries, or I would say injuries, but like being affected by the back somewhat in there. He's just kind of trying to play through it, and we don't know. And you're not going to go out there and actually say, hey, I have an ankle injury, I'm dealing with the shoulder injury, or especially like a knee injury. You don't want to go out there and actually broadcast that out into the world, because definitely players will take advantage of that. I know I would, and target you. So like what Ben Simmons brings, we seen against the Miami game yesterday. Like you saw Jimmy Butler just killing us and just overpowering Mikal Bridges and Dorian Finney-Smith. But Ben Simmons, like, he can't really do that too. And you need guys to defend guys like Jimmy Butler, Aaron Gordon, who's really the Denver Nuggets. Really, they're real true X factor right there, man. I don't know if you have real true Net fans on here. When he's with the Orlando Magic, he used to destroy us, man. I mean, we didn't have no kind of answer for him whatsoever. But, Ben Simmons can actually put up a lot of resistance. You saw what he did against Giannis Antetokounmpo right there. I mean, he was like, I think, 20% in that Bucks game when the Ben Simmons was actually guarding him right there. So, yes, you do. Ben has a lot of value on a defensive end right there. So hopefully he can actually come back. He stays back. He comes back healthy. I mean, there are some remedies, I guess, some natural remedies for what Ben is actually going through. I don't know, like you got calcium deficiencies and nerve issues are like, well, let me not even say that. I don't know how YouTube would actually react to that. So I will wrap this video up. I definitely like, comment, subscribe, certainly share this video. When you share, the universe certainly shares back with you. Peace.